Welcome to the Business Owner's Brief, our monthly sit-down with Biz2Credit CEO Rohit Arora. This month we're talking Fed policy, rising inflation, small business earnings, and what it means in Q3. Let's jump in.
Rohit, the Fed continues to hold interest rates unchanged since 2024. What does that mean for small businesses?
So a lot of small businesses were expecting that Fed would start cutting interest rates by now, and that hasn't happened. So that clearly means that since the small business lending is all benchmarked to the Fed rates, that the rates are still on a higher side. That also means that SBA lending is still pretty expensive at 10.5% to 11%.
And why do you think the Fed hasn't cut interest rates yet?
There are two big reasons. One is Fed has been worried about the tariffs and still early days to figure out that where these tariffs will settle and also what the impact of that will be on the inflation numbers. The second big reason is that, the whole immigration issues, which is leading to labor shortages, and that can lead to, again, higher wage inflation. That was one reason in 2021, 2022, when we saw a much higher inflation and spike in the interest rates. So those are the two big reasons why Fed is not cutting the interest rates right now. My worry is that while President Trump will be able to sign a lot of deals with major trading partners, that should take care of the tariff issues. The issues around the labor availability and labor participation still basically pins down to the immigration policy. Until and unless the Trump administration is not able to address that fully, wage inflation will still be on a higher side, and that will still limit the amount of interest rate cuts that Fed will be able to do.
And you did mention, tariffs that were coming in. We did see inflation ticked up in June, and some are speculating that it's because of these tariffs that is making their way into the consumer pricing. With more tariffs being implemented in August, are you expecting inflation to continue to go up?
Yes and no. I think a lot of these tariffs that are going to come in August is also spurring a lot of trading partners to come and sign deals like we saw with Japan. There is a lot of activity happening with European Union right now. So I feel that month of August should see quite a few trade deals happening. That also means that if the trade talks are going well, then President Trump will delay implementing new tariffs because he's very aware about the fact that tariffs can increase the prices and the inflation, and that's not good for the overall economy. Having said that, yes, there is a big uncertainty around it, and that impacts small businesses.
And what are some ways small businesses can maybe get ahead or deal with the inflation and the rising costs?
The way the business owner should deal with inflation is that they have to get smarter, more efficient, start using AI because the labor shortages is one big reason for inflation and the wage increases. The second aspect is having access to working capital because that's the most important thing in an inflationary environment, that you should have working capital to buy goods and inventory in bulk that can give you discounts, ability to do smarter and better marketing, and keep growing your revenue because while you don't control your profit margins, if you have bigger volumes, then that can at least take care of a lot of the expenses.
Great. And what do you think are the most affected businesses with this inflation?
See, the most effective businesses are one who have the price elasticity. So what I mean by that is that businesses which are not are in the areas of where there's massive amount of price competition. So if you're in a retail business, a lot of time you are not really setting the prices. It's being set by the markets, by the e-commerce giants and everything. But if you are in specialized services businesses, if you are in technology businesses, if you're in the business of providing like new AI widgets and tools, you have a lot more flexibility even today in the way you can decide pricing. The second piece is, do you have a brand? Because if you have a brand, then you command a price premium. But if you are a commodity, then you have no price premium out there. The third big thing is that, small businesses should also take advantage of the AI tools more and more. That will help them to grow faster, that will help them to cut their cost, that will also help them to, make their employees more productive. And those are important things because AI is not only for, big businesses, it's also for small businesses.
Jumping a little bit to more of a positive note here, the Fed continues to hold interest rates, inflation goes up, tariffs are coming. But small business earnings from the Biz2Credit Small Business Earnings Report show that overall earnings have risen significantly, about 75% now from until January. What do you think is attributing to this?
Two reasons. One, obviously, what happened was that before the tariffs came in, a lot of businesses stocked up a lot of inventory. They booked a lot of orders, so there was a lot of front loading that happened. The second thing is that the economy has done decently well, and also in an inflationary environment, you will see a lot more growth in your top line. So that is happening. The third thing is that, overall, Trump administration is a lot more business friendly. So obviously, there was a lot of optimism when it started. Then it went a little south when, in April, President Trump announced all those tariffs. But now, more or less, the business community has understood that tariff is more of a negotiation tool than a tool that Trump administration will really put it out there at a rapid pace. So I think the business confidence is coming back. Obviously, the passing of the big, beautiful bill, which at least did one thing, ensured that the tax breaks that were passed in 2017 have now become permanent. So that took off a lot of the uncertainty that was there among the business owners' minds. And the other thing it also has done is that, there are a lot more incentives in that bill for business owners to keep expanding their business now.
This will be the very last question. Going back to small businesses, Q4 is coming. What's one piece of advice you would tell small business?
So obviously, unlike last few years, things are still a bit uncertain regarding tariffs. Most of the Q4 goods are imported into the country. So obviously that challenge is there, with increased tariffs. Having said that, I think a lot of the countries which export into US have already tried to reduce their prices and not being uncompetitive, in the market. I think the key is that for small business owners is that it's still a little bit of a mixed bag because the economy is doing well, but there's a lot of uncertainty still there. It's still on a softer side. Oil prices are down, that's great, but job market is weak. So that clearly means that the consumer demand could get wobbly. And the other thing is that, if the interest rate starts coming down a bit, then I think the sentiment will improve quite a bit. If not, then I think that will be because of the inflationary pressure triggered by tariffs and by the labor shortages out there.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Rohit.